Capstone project implementation and reflection presentation. Table of contents. 1. Introduction. My why for this capstone project. 2. Personal SEL. Goals that I set for myself as an SEL practitioner. 3. Class-wide SEL. Goals that I set with my students and that my students set for themselves to improve our class SEL practices. 4. Conclusions. My overall reflection on the implementation of new SEL practices. Hello, my name is Tawnie Womack. I am a first grade teacher at a public elementary school. This is my 7th year of teaching. SEL has transformed the way that I approach teaching. I put my well-being and the well-being of my students first, and content standards second. I love how doing this has improved my ability to actually teach. Introduction. My why. Teaching is my passion. I have had riveting moments in my career that remind me why I do what I do. But I've also had moments that make me question even becoming a teacher in the first place. I find myself constantly seeking those highs when students are learning and I'm teaching, and there's a certain feeling of magic in the classroom where neurons are firing and all children are engaged and excited. The flow that is achieved in those moments is more rare than I would like. Implementing SEL practices can get children on the path towards learning at their highest potential. What does flow look like? Some things that might be observed when individuals are in a flow state include intrinsic reward, losing feeling of self-consciousness, feeling a sense of control over the situation and outcome. These things are incredibly useful when learning new skills and approaching challenges. Flow state for different parties. Some things that you might see in students during a flow state is that they are focused, engaged, excited, and asking relevant questions during the lesson. Teachers may feel focused as well, immersed in teaching, excited, and readily available to students when they're asking those questions. Plan to implement SEL practices. For myself, I would like to solve problems as they arise, get regular exercise, and have a designated check-in person that I can talk to throughout my day or throughout the week. For my students, I would like for them to start each day with a greeting and a community activity, address the need for equity during partner sharing, and create a classroom community project to further their sense of belonging. In my time and data, I will collect images, information, and videos from a variety of students and myself to have evidence of implementation and effectiveness. My initial strategy for managing my own stress is having a visual representation of tasks in an organized document. This notebook I found organizes things as to prep, to copy, to follow up on, and a running to-do list. Our jobs as teachers can be daunting at times with the sheer amount of things we need to tackle. It adds up on our mental load if this can't be tangible and achievable. Having a weekly list of various tasks has been helpful. I can write down the fires as they arise and accomplish things during my prep, or when students are working independently on something, so as to maximize my time in school and not spend hours working after school or at home. The second personal SEL goal of mine was self-care in the form of exercise. I found this amazing acronym, HONEYS, which stands for hydration, organization, nutrition, exercise, your why, and sleep. HONEYS has been a great reminder to me that I need to make sure my basic needs are being met by taking care of myself in these areas. One area that I decided to focus on in my capstone was exercise. I have dedicated 30 minutes every day towards focused physical activity. 10 of those minutes are during class time and 20 minutes outside of class. Exercise, along with these other areas of self-care, have enabled me to come to school ready to teach and excited to see how the day unfolds. The third focus area for my personal SEL practices was checking in with grade level colleagues. Some topics of discussion that we had were successes, new ideas, and venting. For successes, we talked about things that were going well in class or small wins that I'm having with students or parents. For new ideas, we shared ways to make learning more engaging for the week or ways to manage my own workload. For venting, it was nice to have a safe space to talk about frustrations or things that are not going the way I was hoping for. Overall, sharing with a colleague helped me unload some of the feelings that I was having and help control my personal social emotional well-being. While I was working on my personal SEL goals, I was congruently working on class-wide SEL goals. While this was challenging, it was nice to see some similarities and be able to work together. Co-regulation appeared to be happening throughout this process. For the last several weeks, we've been starting each day with a morning greeting and activity. On the next slide, I've posted a short video of one greeting that we do called Hello Neighbor. We're still working on making sure everyone finds a partner, and occasionally some kids will not partner up with someone. But you will see at the end of the video that students are working on including friends who get left out. A quote that I found from one of our readings states that social interaction provides a good foundation for learning. The ability to establish and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships is crucial for children's global development. This foundation for learning is essential in a social world where humans are expected to know how to be good citizens in real-world situations. School is a safe setting for children to practice these things through making mistakes and learning from them. One need that my students brought up when I surveyed them from our SEL inventory was that people weren't equally using talking time during partner sharing. After brainstorming with the class, they came up with a strategy that involves them saying one idea at a time and putting their hands in the middle. So partner A shares and puts their hand in, then partner B shares and stacks their hand on top. By the end of the talking time, all 4 hands should be stacked, or 6 in a group of 3, which gives them and myself a visual of knowing that everyone had a chance to share in their partnerships. This was a fantastic strategy to solve our equity of voice problem. All students were surveyed after using our new method for equity of voice. 95.8% of students said they had a chance to share their ideas in every partner sharing activity in the last week, which means 23 out of 24 students in my class agreed that this new method was effective. The final class-wide SEL practice we decided to try was a class community project. I chose to read the name jar to my class because we've been discussing family and gratitude in preparation for Thanksgiving. The name jar talks about why a young girl got her name Yoonhae, which is a traditional Korean name. It connects her to her heritage and her family. She initially wants to change her name to an American name, but she learns in the story why her name is beautiful and unique, and ultimately decides to keep her name rather than pick one from the jar of names that her classmates shared with her. In the following slide, there are pictures of some examples of what my students made for this project. As you can see, different students found varying reasons why they have the name that was chosen for them. While they were sharing, there were some common themes and even name matches, such as a middle name. We learned more about each other. Students connected to their families to research their name, and we created a beautiful class book that everyone was proud to be a part of. Conclusions. Reflecting on implementing personal and class-wide SEL practices. Some of the things that I realized during my personal SEL practice implementation was that task lists are extremely helpful, and it is a simple and easy way to manage things as they arise. It really helped me stay on top of things, and I felt less stressed knowing that I can write things down and accomplish them when I have opportunities. I also recognized that regular exercise was good for me and my students. They helped keep me accountable with this, so we all benefited. I hope to continue having a check-in person as well, but in the future, I might choose a few people that I can check in with in case my regular partner is not there. In the future, I would like to try dream journaling as a form of ongoing vision board about ways to promote a healing-centered environment in and outside of my classroom. As for class-wide SEL practices, I found that starting each day with a greeting really started us off on the right foot and got the students ready for the day. I hope to continue this practice for the rest of the year and will probably do this for the years to come. My students really benefited from practicing equity of voice, and I came to understand that it actually helped me too. I worked on balancing teacher talk time versus student talk time to ensure they're getting plenty of opportunities to collaborate. Our class enjoyed the name jar activity as well, but in the future, I think this would be a more relevant activity for the beginning of the year, as we are just starting to get to know each other. As for the next steps in my class, I would like for my students to practice more compassion by noticing when others need a friend or help, or offer a listening ear when their peers are having big feelings. Conclusion. This course and Capstone project helped me reflect on my ability to implement SEL practices without needing to designate extra time out of my day to teach SEL. I feel better equipped to implement SEL practices by integrating them into their curriculum content and into routines that are built around the social and emotional well-being of myself and my students. Here are the references for the various articles I used to research this capstone project. Thank you so much for listening, and a big shout out to Colin for doing an amazing job facilitating. Thank you also to my classmates for all of your responses and collaboration throughout this course. I feel truly blessed being a part of this course with you all.